All right, so I am doing a lot of videos today. This is a good day to talk. And somebody left a comment talking about how if she kept making, she says she keeps making the same mistakes with people over and over again, and she keeps having the same problems over and over again, and she figures that if she just loves other people the way she wants to be loved, that won't happen. And and that she'll be okay. So she seems to be under the impression that if she just does that, that if she puts herself out there and gives to others the way she wants to be given to herself, that will attract the right thing. And what I want to tell you is that may not be the way you want to go about it. I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody who is doing that. I don't want to do that. But if you want to get respect and get love and things like that, you have to start with yourself, and you have to start doing those things for yourself. Treating somebody else the way you want to be treated, they're not gonna, what you're doing is not gonna change how they do things to you. Does that make sense? What you do for them is not going to make them say, oh, this person's nice, isn't that sweet, I'm going to do something nice for them. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen that way, because that person is only going to treat you from their best level. They are working from their best angle. They are on their best level, on their elevation, wherever that is, their spiritual plane, wherever that is, their emotional maturity limit, wherever that is. And they're only going to be able to do for you what they are at their best level, where they are. And that's it. They can only treat, and they're only going to treat you good depending on how good they feel about themselves. And I know that for a fact, because I've experienced it enough, because I've lived, and times when I was severely depressed, I was not able to connect with anybody and do the right things because of how much I hated myself. And that the way I acted outwardly was a direct reflection of how I felt about myself. Period, point blank, simple as. That's it. And the sooner people can start to realize that is the reality, that you put out on the outside what is going on the inside. You're gonna reflect, you're going to reflect it out. And somebody who is feeling bad about themselves, this is why you get strangers that say really awful things to you, that it'd be a person you've never seen before, and they'll just say like the worst shit, and it just makes you think, who the hell do you think you are? And at first you want to get pissed off and say, no, wait a fucking minute, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? But then the higher minded part of you has to come in and say, no, it's not that. Calm down. This person is miserable. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Y'all have never seen each other before. It's not about you. They're upset about it. They were probably fighting with somebody 5 minutes before they saw you. So just drop it. And you have to keep that kind of shit in mind when you interact with people, because they are treating you according to how they feel about their life and about their damn selves. And that's it. And I don't want people to continue under this delusion that if they're just good to the world is going to be good back, because it doesn't work that way. You have to just be good to yourself and let that be your foundation, and not worry about what somebody else is doing. And I know that's hard because we're not trained that way, and women especially aren't trained to think that, but that is the reality, is that you've got to put yourself in a certain place and practice self-respect and practice self-love for yourself, regardless of what the outside world is doing. There are people that live what a lot of people might consider a shitty life for one reason or another. They live a certain way, or they live in a bad neighborhood, or they don't eat right, or they don't have a lot of friends, or whatever you might consider to be kind of a shitty life. And that person may be living that way, and a lot of people might look at that and say, oh, that looks like shit. But then that person, they go la-di-fucking-da throughout their life, every day they're just happy as a lark, because they don't care about what other people are doing. They don't care about how other people treat them. They are in the zone. They are in their own world, whatever that may be, their own reality they've created in their head, and they treat themselves according to how they feel about themselves. And it doesn't matter if the house is dirty, or they live in a bad neighborhood with a lot of police around all the time, or whatever. None of that's going to bother them because they are focused on how they treat themselves. And if they treat themselves good and they do what they want and they do things that are aligned with themselves and feel good to themselves and they put themselves first in certain ways or whatever, then the way somebody else treats them isn't going to matter. They're not going to care because they're in the zone. They stay in their own lane. They're just like, they're doing their own thing. There's a lot of people who, no, we can't say a whole lot. Most of them probably don't reveal themselves, but for the few people who reveal themselves to me that are extremely jealous of me or what have you, because I get more than that I'd like, but those people can run my name in the dirt all they want. It doesn't matter because I treat myself good. It's just like, I don't care. Say what you're going to say. I treat myself good. And that's all that matters. So what other people do to you is you can't hinge the way you feel about yourself or your life on the way somebody else treats you, because their opinion doesn't matter. The number one opinion that matters about you is your own, because you're going to be the one that talks to yourself all your life long, up until you die. You're going to be the only person that hears your last thought. You know what I mean? So it's up to you to look at yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what do I want to do with this person? And that's going to be number one. It has to be number one for your own peace of mind, for your own mental health, and for your own sake. It's got to be that way, because other people are not going to treat you according to how you treat them. You can't predict that shit. You can't predict it, because people are going to treat you the way they're feeling. And we don't know what that looks like. We don't know what that looks like. And there's a lot of people that pretend. They pretend to be happy. They pretend, that they think they're on top of the world, and it's all a facade. So they might treat you like shit one day and you'll be shocked because, you didn't see it coming. Well, to save yourself from that shenanigan, just skip it. Just skip it. You don't have to worry. You don't have to hope that somebody's going to treat you good. You don't have to do that. If you're treating yourself good and you're treating yourself like the divine essence that you are, then fuck what anybody else tries to do. It's not going to matter. I live like this every damn day. I'm happy as a lark. I feel great. I feel great about my life. And I'm like, because I'm not worried about what somebody else is going to do. It just, you can't base it on that. That's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to yourself to do that. So that's just something that I thought needed to be said, because she brought up a really good point, and that's important, and it's something to think about, because so many people feel that way. Well, I just put it out there. I guess they're confusing it with the law of attraction thing. Well, if I put it out there, it'll come back to me. In a way, but the universe is also inside of you. So if you treat yourself a certain way, you're already treating the universe a certain way. Therefore, it will come back to you that way. Not having to treat everybody else like a prince and then hope that they'll treat you like a princess in return, because you don't know what they're going to do. So skip that and just treat yourself like a princess and be done with it. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to say about that. So I hope that helps, and I hope that brings you some clarity and a little bit of guidance today. And as usual, thank you for listening, and thank you for staying with me through all of this and through my growth and hitting my goals and things like that, and all of my transformation in my work. I'm really grateful to everybody for just staying with me through all of it. It's been really important to me, and I've had so many sincere people just stick by my side, and trust me and believe in me, and that has meant so much to me. So thank you. Yeah, thank you.